The vintage Porsche convertible broke down exactly 3 miles outside of Tucson, sputtering to a dramatic halt on the shoulder of a desert highway that stretched endlessly in both directions under the blazing Arizona sun. Sofia Bennett pushed her sunglasses up into her dark hair and stared at the steam rising from beneath the hood of her borrowed classic car, wondering how her carefully planned cross-country photography trip had gone so spectacularly wrong. She had saved for 2 years to take this journey, documenting forgotten towns and hidden landscapes across America. And now she was stranded in the middle of nowhere with a phone that showed no signal and a canteen that was already half empty. She got out of the car, the heat hitting her like a physical force, and popped the hood. Black smoke billowed out, and she jumped back, coughing. Sofia knew absolutely nothing about engines beyond where to pour the windshield wiper fluid. Her expertise lay in aperture settings and composition, not combustion and carburetors. "Perfect," she muttered, scanning the empty road. "Just perfect." She was about to resign herself to a long, hot wait when she heard the low rumble of another engine approaching. A sleek black Range Rover slowed as it neared her, pulling onto the shoulder about 20 feet ahead. The driver's door opened, and a man stepped out. Sofia's first thought was that he looked completely out of place on this dusty desert highway. He wore dark jeans and a crisp white shirt with the sleeves rolled up, aviator sunglasses concealing his eyes. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and moved with the kind of easy confidence that suggested he was used to solving problems. "Need some help," he called out, walking toward her. "Unless you're a mechanic, I think this car might be beyond help," Sofia said, gesturing at the still smoking engine. "It just died." He came closer, and she noticed the strong line of his jaw, the way his dark hair was slightly disheveled in an appealing way. He pulled off his sunglasses, revealing striking green eyes that assessed the situation quickly. "Let me take a look," he said, moving to peer under the hood. He studied the engine for a long moment, then straightened. "Your radiator's blown. That car's not going anywhere without a tow." "Great," Sofia sighed. "How far to the nearest town?" "Tucson's about 40 minutes back the way you came. There's a smaller town about 15 miles ahead." He glanced at her car, then at her. "Where are you headed?" "I was going to New Mexico," she said, "taking photos along the way." "I'm a photographer." "Long trip in a car that old," he observed. "It was my uncle's. He lent it to me for this journey." She looked at the Porsche with genuine affection despite its current betrayal. It made it from Seattle without a single problem until now. The man pulled out his phone, frowned at it, then said, "No signal out here." "Look, I can give you a ride into town. We can arrange for a tow truck there." Sofia hesitated. Every safety lesson she had ever learned warned against accepting rides from strangers. But the sun was merciless, she had limited water, and the alternative was waiting beside the highway hoping another Good Samaritan would pass by. "I appreciate that," she said finally. "I'm Sofia." "Adrian," he said, extending his hand. His grip was firm and warm. "Adrian Crawford." Something about the name tickled her memory, but she could not place it. She grabbed her camera bag and backpack from the Porsche, locked it with a sense of futility, and followed Adrian to his Range Rover. The interior was immaculate and blessedly cool. Sofia sank into the leather passenger seat with a grateful sigh as Adrian started the engine and pulled back onto the highway. "So what kind of photography?" Adrian asked as he drove. "Landscape mostly, but I specialize in forgotten places. Old buildings, abandoned towns, things people overlook." Sofia adjusted the air vent to blow directly on her face. "I have this theory that beauty exists everywhere, even in decay, maybe especially in decay." "That's an interesting way to see the world," Adrian said. "What about you? What brings you out to the middle of the Arizona desert?" "Business," he said, which was not much of an answer. "I've been looking at some property in the area." "What kind of business?" "Real estate development," Adrian said. "Hotels, resorts, that sort of thing." They drove in comfortable silence for a few miles. Sofia found herself stealing glances at his profile, noting the slight smile that played at the corner of his mouth, as if he was perpetually amused by something. There was an ease about him that she found disarming. "So where were you planning to stay tonight?" Adrian asked. "There's a motel in Truth or Consequences. That was my next stop." Sofia pulled out her printed itinerary, one of the few things she still did on paper. "I heard there's an old ghost town nearby that's supposed to be incredible at sunset." "Truth or Consequences is about 3 hours from here," Adrian said. He was quiet for a moment, then added, "I'm actually headed in that direction myself. I was going to stop in Silver City for the night, but I'm flexible." "You don't have to change your plans for me," Sofia said quickly. "I'm not. Like I said, I'm flexible." He glanced at her, and she caught something in his expression she could not quite read. "Besides, I'm curious about this ghost town." When they reached the small town of Desert Springs,